course, let's take a look at the stories in the papers before you get to meet our guest this morning. There is a lot to be talked about. There is a lot happening in the country as we speak, and quite a number of things calling for attention. But let's quickly take a look at the stories in the papers before we come to wrap. Right? We'll have the punch screening. ABC questions Tinubu, Mai Bakari, others on foreign citizenship and screening report. Okorocha engages 5 SARS court. Here's his bail application today. Arabashala faction cakes demand of APC primaries cancellation. This goes Jenko's others revenue shortfall rises to 1.6 trillion naira. Ogun community laments harassment by child beggars, demands relocation. 2 Ekiti men to die by hanging for robbing a 53-year-old lecturer. I can be second-class citizen, says Wike. Article begins reconciliation. Some people following Atiku have no electoral value. That's talking, Wike talking, River State government. All right, let's take a look at the Nigerian Tribune. The banner headline of the Nigerian Tribune: Tinubu, Amechi, Amosu, Bakari face APC screening. Adamu inaugurates Oyegun's 7-man panel amidst power tussle in the party. Peter Obi late emerges Labour Party presidential candidate. I almost scuttle PDP presidential primary. Wike accuses southern governors of betrayal. Atiku visits Wike, Saraki, Anyim. APC primaries. Controversies persist in Osun, Oyo, Okun, and Ondo. Train attack. My son is a sickler. I don't know his condition now. Oshibaju's classmate cries out. Ango Abdullahi's son, other victims seek federal government help. Right, the man who rode a bike from London to Nigeria. My scariest moment was when I ran out of water in Mauritania. Right, that's still there. You have the Nation newspaper next. The Nation newspaper tells us banner headline: what Tinubu told APC screening panel by the aid. Former Lagos Governor Amechi Umahi Bakare, 8 others screened. Oshibajo Lawa, 9 others to face Ojije Oyegu panel today. Jonathan not listed. Wike slams PDP South governors for betraying him. Governor faults party over Tambuwal. Titan Trust, a complete acquisition of Union Bank. Why I visited Wike, Saraki, Tambuwal by Atiku. Peter Obi picks a Labour Party presidential ticket. EFCC charges Okorocha with 2.9 billion naira fraud. Senator files 1 billion naira suit. As 2023 polls, rising food prices threaten the economy. IMF warns. Rise businessman arrested over importation of fake malaria drug. That's also the front page story of the Nation newspaper. Let's take a look at the last one, the Guardian newspaper. Jonathan absent as APC screens presidential aspirant screening panel asked to disqualify Tinubu over Chicago affair. Supporters in rousing welcome for Tinubu at venue. Bakari Oaneye pledged to abide by party position. Fallout of Atiku's emergence. APC chieftain weighs Oshibajo others' chances. You have Atiku intensifies reconciliation with Wike. Other stakeholders. Obi picks Labour Party's presidential ticket. Nigeria records 21 fresh cases of monkeypox, 1 death. SDP knocks president over statement on Ekiti election. Wike accuses southern PDP governors of betraying regional arrangement. Or your PDP for Larry Bika over assassination attempt on Pella. And gunmen attack Anambra broadcasting station, set vehicles ablaze, injure staff. Concerns as expert rate. Crew gulp 1.62 billion naira monthly flying politicians. Concerns as expatriate crew gulp 1.62 billion naira monthly flying politicians. Quite interesting. All right. Just before we begin to introduce our guest, the conversation took place last week here in the city of Lagos about the 2023 general elections towards having a peaceful poll in Nigeria. It was hosted by the Onigbongbo chairman. It was hosted the APC Professionals Council actually held a public awareness talk on the 2023 general election, and the guest speaker, Arebiri for Lashade Olabanji Oba, the National Directorate of Council Contacts and Mobilization, a seasoned technocrat, a National Deputy Chairman, Association of Local Government Vice Chairman of Nigeria, and Executive Vice Chairman of Ikorodu Local Government Area, spoke on the event. She, of course, enunciated on the fact that Nigeria, at a critical time like this, must understand that this 2023 election is an important milestone that everybody must be concerned about. 2023, she said, is an election period, and she has been asked to present an overview of the ways and initiatives aimed at promoting a peaceful poll in Nigeria. Previous experiences of the election in Nigeria have shown various degrees of issues, of violence occurring. There was a time in Nigeria when it was marred, polls were marred by people carrying ballot boxes. And then it was marred again by people refusing to come out to vote. And then it was marred by people's voters' card not being able to, work with our machine, the voters' machine, and people's cards were not accredited. So at the end of the day, you have quite a number of attendant issues that the country would have to attend to if we are to have a free, a fair, and a peaceful poll where everyone will be given the opportunity to cast their votes in 2023. Let's quickly listen to some of the speakers, and of course, the main speaker, Arebiri Folashade Olabanji Oba, at that event, and of course, the other speakers as well.
As we go into the electioneering months, we must make sure we peacefully engage and participate, knowing that we have no other place but our great country. We should all be accountable and responsible. Be the change that we want to see in our communities.
But we are saying, we will create an enabling environment for you as professionals for you to join political party, that is APC in specific, because we need to commit our government to the hands of professionals, to those who are capable, to those who are competent. It's no longer going to be the business as usual where we have mediocres and people who are not up to the task handling our affairs. So we are saying, every young person out there, every professional out there, it is time for you to come on board. You can participate in politics in several ways: voting, having symposiums, mobilizing people, various ways you can join politics.
We can't be complaining about a system that we are not ready to spare time to take part in it. And one of the instruments that we can use to actually effect a change is to be actively involved. And if you want to be actively involved, is in two folds: either as a card-carrying member of a party to partake in selecting who represents the party. But the bigger picture is the general election, where it's not in the hand of any political party but INEC.
The INEC should ensure that they have a readiness and preparedness to ensure that the safety of their staffs, the safety of their materials is guaranteed. This can be done by one to give a sensitive orientation to their staffs and ensure that they have a safe environment in which they will be. Because considering what will happen in the past where we have INEC staff being injured by hoodlums and the rest, they should, this time around, must not repeat itself. Let's see what they can do to ensure that this does not repeat itself.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the bumper breakfast. That was the 2023 elections towards having a peaceful poll. And we're talking about this 2023 elections with our guests in the studio this morning. I have Olayinka Ola Daniels right here with me in the studio. He's a constitutional lawyer, a public affairs analyst. I like to call him a social commentator. Thanks for joining us again this morning. Good to have you.
Thomason. Thank you for having me.
And of course, diarist Tolani Ujuri is also here. He's also a social commentator, public affairs analyst, and an entrepreneur, a disability advocate as well. Good morning.
Thomason. Good morning.
Good to
Good
have
morning,
you.
viewers at home.
Good to have you both. Let's talk about the 2023 general elections and the presidential primaries. Everything seems to be taking shape at the level of the political parties. Atiku emerged, the PDP candidate. Peter Obi, of course, emerged, the Labour Party candidate. And the APC itself has started screening their presidential aspirants. Let's go back to the PDP first of all. Were you in any way surprised that Atiku emerged the PDP candidate, going by the fact that our dearest Peter Obi had announced to the rest of us that the scheme and the way manner they were working and going about it had already shown where it was going? Were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised. There's hardly anything a politician would do now that would surprise me anymore. It's like it's their game, so they have their ways of playing it. It's like you said that 5 minutes is a long time in politics. Going by what the news coming out, reviews from the party primaries, the PDP party primaries, like they had to pull this card at the last minute so that the other party, I'm sorry, one of the contestants won't be able to do anything while they're all seated and all that. But well, hey, they played themselves out, and it's like fastest fingers kind of. So we are here. Good to know they have a candidate. Either we like it or not, APC is looking in that direction, and for that reason, they are back in their closet trying to figure out, how to get their primaries on the way, either to have a consensus candidate or to have somebody from the north or from the south and all that. That definitely is going to influence APC's choice of candidate.
Choice of candidate. And interestingly, a lot of people were looking at what Labour Party. It looked as if all the while they was just joking, and they were joking about the third force that was going to come around. People were looking more in the direction of maybe NNPP, Kwankwaso, collaborating with Peter Obi. After all, there was already stories in the news that they've come together. But it's interesting that Peter Obi got absorbed into Labour Party, and just 48 hours later, he was made the presidential, candidate of that party. What do you think?
Well, on that,
They all stepped down. Don't forget. They all stepped down. Coming from Professor Patutomi.
including Patitomi.
Yes, they all stepped down.
Everybody stepped.
Well, on that, maybe I should say I was a bit disappointed at that. When did Peter Obi join Labour Party? Then suddenly becoming the flag bearer of the party as a presidential aspirant of the party. Are we saying that this party does not have any ideology? Are we saying that this party never thought of a candidate that is sellable to the people before Peter Obi joined the party? Now, because
Or maybe they were just waiting for Peter Obi to
one
come.
way, what they came up to tell us, I heard Professor Patutomi saying that, it wasn't about self, and it was about the people, the country, the party, just to make sure that they take over. And I'm like, in as much as we respect the fact that, yes, we should go beyond politics of me, myself, and I. Yes, we should consider that. But then, you have told me that your party don't have ideology. What you have told me about your party, for me, is a no-no, me going for that party. However, they had looked at it strategize. Okay, Peter Obi is loved by the people. So when we bring
And don't
him-
forget, he said he's bringing 15 million
I'm going
votes.
somewhere. I'm going somewhere. Bringing him in may give us
National face.
may give us sympathy vote from people.
Okay.
Unfortunately, most of the so-called loved, most of the people that the acclaimed loved people by Peter Obi are social media voters.
Okay.
So now, the youths, everybody say, okay, I go on Twitter and I read all sorts and I laugh.
Oh, there were quite a number of chat
Number of them.
rooms. on
Okay,
Twitter.
look at it. When the primary was about coming up, some of us had projected who was going to, carry
Emerge.
the flag.
So you also weren't surprised?
I wasn't surprised about Atiku. The only thing that surprised me was Wike's number of votes. I wasn't expecting Wike
to get that much.
237. I wasn't expecting
That's
that
amazing.
from Wike. But meaning that Wike worked and
Yeah.
really worked hard to get that.
Okay,
That was
we'll
the only
talk about
surprise.
the kind of work.
That was the only surprise. Oh, you don't want to go to go.
No,
you don't want to break
that's
through.
actually the next topic.
All right, we'll
Let's
get there.
not go in
We'll get
there.
there.
So
So now,
let's
meaning
not
that
jump.
he worked and he got that number. Now, another issue I had with that also, and I won't call that surprise, because before the primaries, most of them were talking about south, let's zone it to south.
Okay.
But the governors from the south, the people from the south, they're supposed to bring in their delegate to support the south,
So,
all kill behind Atiku.
because they had a different agenda.
Which is exactly what Wike
So-
now alleged and said,
Well, he said,
the South government
meaning that,
Babodi as
the
they
truth
call
is,
it.
Oh, well.
that is politics for you.
Politics,
That's
yeah.
when people go, then they analyze some things, people say that way. I laugh most of the time. Well, I'm not in their midst, but some of us, we can read, some of us, probably we know the system, we've been with them for a while and we know how this thing works, so we can say no. It's not what you think. It's not what you propose. It's not the noise it's not about noise.
It's not about noise.
Politics is not about noise. Look at what has happened so far now. Some of the primaries we've had so far and people that are picking tickets.
Yeah.
People that were not even known in the constituency.
Yeah.
Somehow pick the ticket. As against people that been there. So things are changing. And don't forget, probably in Lagos, for instance, the Baba Isale is busy with his own
Aspirations.
Aspirations.
So
And he was
no
screaming
time to
yesterday.
even look at
To-
what is happening here. So you can see that people picking tickets. You know, like,
And it was quick also to congratulate Atiku.
Look at no, I'm not even going to PDP. I'm even talking about APC. I'm
That's what I'm
talking
saying.
about Lagos ticket. Look at Ali Mosho.
Yeah.
We could have imagined that Madam Adefulure, what was her name now?
Adefulure.
Adefulure, who picked the ticket against Okpaifa and what's his name? Obanikoro.
No, but Adifulure stepped down and Adibule took it. The former deputy governor.
Yeah, that is
Adibule.
what I'm saying. That I'm even talking about the numbers of the primaries.
Yes.
Obanikoro
Adebule.
scored 190 something.
Adebule scored 490
and
something.
And
Adebule-
Okpaifa scored like
4.
70. No, Okpaifa. I sure it was 4. Check properly. Like that. What we're saying is things are changing.
Things are changing. Yes.
And people are like, again, you said we'll go to the delegate, but not now. So what we are saying, that I'm not surprised at some of the things that happened. I'm only surprised at the way some of those things happened. And I believe by now, APC should know, because now we have Atiku, and PDP has told us that they didn't care about any zone. So they had gone through their primaries. Now they have a candidate. Now APC has been moving, shifting. Now they've shifted to another date.
Yeah.
From
June
the
6th.
initial
June 6th.
June 6th, from the initial.
But this time
date.
around, they are screening candidates.
Yeah, they are
already.
candidates. So let's see what is going to come from them.
Okay?
If you want me to give you how it's going to come, I can also do that. I didn't fail with PDP, and I'm sure if I do APC, I will not fail. But I will leave it. And I'll leave it for them to decide, so that they don't say some people, where do we see Orijos, or where do we see we don't see, we only know what we read things, and we can tell to say this is the way they will go.
You can tell the signs of things to come.
You see, talking about the APC, yesterday, my director can just put that video up. Yesterday, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was also screened. Still talking about the 2023 general elections, and it was screened in preparation for the primaries. And it's quite interesting, the kind of crowd, that came with him. It just took my mind to the idea of the entourage that we carry from place to place when we're going for simple assignments. So we're looking at the president traveling out of the country, and he travels with an entire entourage of the entire plane full to the brim, and everybody abandons their duties during that period simply because the president is going somewhere. All of us just follow him. The National Security Advisor will follow him, and then the Minister of Foreign Affairs will follow him, or the essay on diaspora matters, will follow him, and then we have so many ministers. And I'm asking, what happens to their offices while they are, outside the country? Because it looks as if they all just go.
No, they have the duties, they have the permanent side.
Okay, that's what you people are paying them for, to go on
to go on trips
with the president. So yesterday, to Asiwaju, Jejeli was going for the thing that he bought his form with his money to go and do his screening, and then this crowd of people, milling about the entire premises of Transcorp Hilton were there. They didn't go inside with him, but they were there. Let's quickly listen to a quick conversation he had with the panel while it was being screened, and then we're back in the studio.
When I was in Geelong, I was involved in the Chinese market, But what we asked them to do then is to separate the market from citizens, because they don't issue the C of O to citizens, which is not right. Yes. And that is where any crack in the financial system that affects a whole change of today, again, I mentioned long-term money for long-term projects. Why are we not the ones selling gas that we are flaring in Ukraine?
To Europe.
I think against this with the president. I'm not obliged to really discuss this private discussion with the president.
Welcome back. All right, so we're still talking about the 2023 general elections, and brings me to the issue of voter inducement. So the news also that made the social media round said some people dropped money in dollars. So the issue of voter inducement, they said it was $15,000 for some, $10,000 for some, $5,000 for some at the PDP, just concluded PDP presidential primaries. Whether that is true or not, let's leave that to the people who collected the money. But the truth is, from delegate inducement to voter inducement, what is the place of money in Nigeria politics? Is it that without money we cannot actually do things now? Because everywhere they go, they drop money. Like, seriously, even at the level of the local government, people were heavily induced. The delegates were heavily induced at the level of the local government. not to talk of it at the level of the constituency, at the level of the senatorial, seat. I'm just wondering, we're not talking presidency. So I'm not surprised if truly $15,000 and the rest of it was given to some people just to be able to vote them in at that primaries. It was a matter of who has the deepest purse.
The deepest war chest, the biggest war chest. The way our constitution is and the way our society is at the moment, money still plays a major role. Even the politicians that keep saying, I don't have money to give or whatever, I'm a very transparent person, I won't bribe and all that. If you look very well, they still have some people who are sponsoring them, who are ready to spend this money. And we need to really sit. We need, if the voters, the politicians themselves need, we are not there yet. Maybe in the next 12, 15, 20 years, we will gradually get to that space whereby
Did you just say
you will have
12, 15, 20?
Yeah, but it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take, for instance, yes, this our president. There was a time I think 2003, there's a particular election, like he couldn't afford to complete his political campaign, that he said he couldn't afford it. And even some places that he went to, he couldn't. But come
2014.
His first term in office.
2014.
2015.
Yeah.
2014,
the
2015.
campaign.
Yeah.
The campaign.
The game changed. People rallied around him, came to APC, and all that changed. There was enough money to throw around. He could go everywhere and everything. Because
there was somebody with a war chest.
Yes, behind. So this is known to everybody. So, and of course, the results changed as well. If a politician should go somewhere now and you go talk, at the end of the day, you don't drop anything. They will even tell you to your face, did you come here? So we need to change. It's a long process, and it really has, in fact, that process itself has to be sponsored by some people. There has to be a deliberate effort that, you have to look at, this person is not about money, this is your destiny and all that. But the way we are now, nobody will listen to you that way.
With that money, and that's at the level of the delegates. Or you're even talking at the level of the voters itself.
Yeah, because
voters, delegates, even party elders and all.
For me, I don't see anything happening even in the next 50 years. I'll break it down. Something can happen in the next 4 years. If we choose to do that. And what is that? First, we've said this over time. Our constitution, the constitution we use presently, sorry, I don't like using this particular phrase, but I will use it, should be turned into pieces, shredded, burned. Let's have another constitution to drive this country to that expected end, to what we want to see. Why did I say that? As long as we have a group of people deciding who the rest of us vote for, because the delegates decide who you and I votes for.
Yeah.
So it's all about the process that produces the candidate that we will end up voting for.
Very well.
So basically, it's not really our choice in the first place.
Not at all. It's not our choice at all. We have 700 people that they've gathered somewhere, and reason why the candidate, we have to induce these people, the candidate, and how can they get these people behind them to vote for them? Is by doing that. Because when you go and speak grammar, the candidate look at you and they laugh at you. This one is not ready. There is no gathering you go in this country, be it political or otherwise,
or social,
that they will not expect something from you. When you come, what have you brought to the table? Even to maybe
so
a bottle of water,
to give to
a
them.
Coke, snack, and a meeting, they expect you to give them something.
You see,
No.
it comes to the idea of the expectation that you must come with something to satisfy their personal
That is the reason why I'm
hunger.
saying until when there is nothing like delegates picking for Nigerians, 700 people picking a candidate. That means, okay, for instance, look at what happened PDP now. We've had 271 that have picked Atiku among the 700 whatever delegates. Now, they present Atiku to us. Assuming without conceding, let's say Atiku win election in Nigeria. 271 people presented Atiku to us.
And
PDP, APC will come, whether it's consensus, whether it's by delegate, whatever. A number of people will present
About
that candidate to
2,000
us.
something.
In Labour, number of people presented Obi already, or
Yes.
some step down.
Yeah.
Like, so it's going to happen like that. So when we have all these candidates, then we are left with what they are produced. Meaning that I can independently come to say, I want to test the water. I go around to campaign to talk to people. Let us have it this way, vote for me. Let us fix this nation.
They won't vote
I
for you.
can't. Why? Because the constitution had even made provision that it is the political party that will present the candidate.
Candidate, yeah.
That is where we are.
But isn't that the way it works elsewhere, where the political parties also produce their candidates and that the people vote for the political party?
Very well. In fact, when we are practicing, they practice that in the US, they practice
Yes.
that in the other places,
Yes.
even when they have delegates that will vote and
Yeah.
all that. And
Yeah.
But in that clan, we know how it
They
works.
do not use money to induce them.
We know you can lobby, meaning you can convince me.
Yeah.
You can talk to me. You can appeal to me. I remember then during that, even the election, we'll pick a phone and Joe Biden. No, so it was Barack Obama was doing that for Joe Biden. It was calling and appealing to people to. So
It was making
all
phone
those
calls,
things
yes.
they were doing it. But here is about our politics is about money. Look, there's nowhere in the world that you won't spend money when it comes to politics.
Yeah.
No, don't let us get it twisted.
Yeah.
You will, but not this route.
That we're taking.
Not the way we are going about it.
Let me now bust your bubble, because if you're saying that not this route, how then can a current senator representing Lagos West in the National Assembly, in the Senate as we speak, currently representing Lagos West, win Ogun West senatorial ticket, and we say it's not money? How do you represent? You are currently the senator
Yes.
representing a place,
Yes.
and then you contest to represent another state,
Yes.
another senatorial seat,
Yes.
in another state, and you win.
I have told you.
Is it money?
I have.
Or is it love?
It's not. It's not love anywhere. You know. Okay, now somebody is from Ogun,
Yes.
but he's been here and he's been senator for like 2 or 3 times, right?
No,
4 times. Okay, fine. Under the Lagos West, meaning that there is no Lagosian that can be a senator. No. Sorry, I'm sorry. I just passed by the way.
Okay, it's not an award man.
It's not an award-
I know you're an award man.
I'm worried man is not the only Lagosian.
That
We have
family.
other.
I get it. So you're saying that, but you add people.
It can even be an Awori man and not be a Lagosian because there are Awori people in other states. So, no.
But let me ask you, before you go to the fact that there are Lagosians, don't forget that you also have people who are currently in Lagos
Yes.
but are not Lagosians.
No, hold on. Let's get it. Don't let it get twisted. Like I always say.
I thought when
I say Lagos, I am not saying because some of us have been asking for the removal of that indigenous nonsense they put on our forms.
Okay.
If we claim we are Nigerians, then you still tell me to fill in where I come from, my local government, all those things indigenous. Some of us.
I must have lived there.
I'm not God. Lived here. Whether born here.
So
in
it's a
Lagos,
Lagosian.
Oh,
Has lived
hold
there
on.
for long.
For how long? You must have lived for a particular time in Lagos. Then, if you have made a choice, now listen to this carefully, to be a Lagosian, to contest an election in Lagos, we should have a constitution that will bar you from contesting in another state. Stay in Lagos. If that is where you claim you are from, whatever. Then when they now, they keep slapping us You've done 4 terms in Lagos. Now you've gone to Ogun State to now do
To continue.
to continue. Then you are coming from Ogun. Then the next why? Because you actually want to become a governor. And the other time that you went to Ogun State to even the stoning, they said it wasn't possible. So now his advisors had to then tell him, no, you can't go that route. You know, you have to start from somewhere. So going first.
So he cannot go and sit in the party in Ogun State and then make impact while presently
Didn't Faleke that was a member of the House of Representatives in Lagos. He went to Kogi
to contest.
He won actually under what's the late governor?
He was the deputy governor.
Audu.
Yeah.
Audu. You know, they won. They were not declared, so that was the issue. Then he came back, and they still gave him a slot.
But because he's resident here.
Because he's resident there. You are going to contest an election in Kogi. So if they are sworn him in, the same way Aregbe, don't let me use Aregbe. Aregbe was the commissioner, not elected.
Elected official.
Now, if you, for instance, if they had won and declared winner, so he would have become a deputy governor in Kogi, and he has served as a member of representative. So
representing Lagos.
Representing Lagos. So all these things, we are not serious.
So it goes back to the constitution which you're talking about.
So meaning telling us that we only have a few people that can represent Lagos.
No, but basically,
and these few people also can also go to other states to represent. Those other states too, they don't have people to represent them.
So does the constitution, because that's the point here. People have gone to court, and the Federal High Court in Abeokuta has actually obtaining an interlocutory injunction, has restrained Senator Olamilekan Adeola Solomon from displaying or parading himself as the candidate of the APC for Ogun West in Ogun State.
Look, I'm sorry. I don't know what the prayer of the judge. The judge. I mean, no, the prayers of the litigant, the lawyer, the person going to court, and all that. I don't know their prayers, but the truth is, the Constitution has not made provision that he has every right if he's from Ogun State.
And he's an indigent.
So what stops him?
So that's the Constitution itself.
So if Lagos slept on their right, allow him to go on as a senator in Lagos State, but probably he has claimed that he's an indigent of Ogun State, and he has that, and nobody has denied it. So
even that
the Constitution has said that the Constitution has not made provision for such things to say that you cannot.
Now, so they are asking. They said that contesting without being a member of the party in Ogun West, nor a registered voter in Ogun West senatorial district is contrary to the Constitution of Nigeria and repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience. That is their prayer.
Olden.
That is their prayer.
Good. Let's break it down.
So they're saying it cannot be a registered member.
INEC came and said that if you're living in a place and you want to relocate to another place,
you should
come and revalidate. So we'll do that. So if he had done that, this does not apply.
Okay. What
Mr.
about
Vice President,
a member of the party in Ogun West?
Thank you. If he had done that, are you sure he has not registered in Ogun? Because Mr. Vice President, the last time I checked, Mr. Vice President went to Ogun. He was in Lagos. He was registered in Lagos he came in as a vice president from Lagos. And somehow he went to Ogun and he registered there. He moved home and he registered there in Ogun. So if he had done that, it doesn't apply, except he has not done that.
And now what they're saying is, if he has now done that, how then can he still be representing Lagos at the Senate?
No. If he has done that, don't forget that this night, Senate whatever is almost rounding up and all that, and if not, nobody has gone to court to declare that seat vacant. See, court will not give you prayers you have not asked for.
If you sleep on your rights, and I mean, nobody would do it for you.
You see, the question is, when I came across the story yesterday, I had a very good laugh because there are quite a number of people are talking about this and talking about this. And like you said, it is what you ask the court for that the courts will ask you for. All right, so going back to the issue of voter inducement, there's so many stories that are coming up. Let's take a quick number here. Tolani, how much do you think will be flying to delegate in the APC You know, let's talk. If we talk, the highest at the PDP was $15,000. How much do you think we'll be going to
The alleged figures I heard wasn't, the highest wasn't 15. The alleged,
It's like
I wasn't there.
The alleged
The
figure
one
was
I heard was 25, 15, 10, everything going to 50,
Yeah,
like
everything went
$50,000.
Yeah.
Like
25, 15, that's about 40, and then 10.
I wasn't there, I'm not sure.
They put it against
So-
they put it against people's name. Oh. Don't forget, they said 25 to the person who emerged, 15 to the person who is aggrieved
That's
in
what
Rivers.
we
And
heard,
that's what
we
they
heard,
said
okay.
now.
So,
they said,
so,
look,
so definitely APC primaries, they would raise the bar.
so what do you think? Can you give us a
So-
number?
Well,
We all want to be delegates. You don't want to be a
But we
delegate.
understand that EFCC visited, paid them a visit.
it's
now.
just a waste of time.
And
They
I
were
only
there-
pay APC a visit.
No, they were there at the venue, and everybody knew that all these things did not take place at the venue.
At the venue,
the main
okay.
thing took place
Of
at
course!
the
It's
hotel.
not at the venue
And
they give them
EFCC
money.
But they
definitely.
said it has been given.
Is it a place where a particular person locked down a 40 delegate in some hotel?
In some hotel.
And is that
And
is
this
that
was-
the people
and
that
this was
come and collect
common
money at
knowledge.
the
This was common knowledge even to people all over, even people civil Lagos. So definitely,
Okay.
EFCC knew where to find them. They were just playing to the gallery.
No. The
Sorry.
AFCC is not
I'm
looking
just
for
laughing.
anybody. There is no.
They're checking bags.
There's no
They're
protection
checking
bag for them. Is it that kind of money you
Ghana must go
you look
grab,
for at the convention
Excuse
ground?
me. Are you supposed to bring that kind of money to the?
I wonder.
That is what we're saying.
Okay, that's how we're fighting our own type of corruption.
It's just for the media.
I get
For the
it.
media,
It's just for the media.
Let's go away from politics a little bit and go into this issue of another developing story here in Lagos. The Lagos State government has given a 72-hour notice to people who built shanties at Ibejuleke and Etiosa local government under high tension cable, under what we call power line. So these people have put up their own, what do they call it now? Shanties, structures underneath this power line. And the Lagos State government has given them a 72-hour notice. A lot of people said it's not legal, it's too short. And then LAPSCA, the agency of the government who's in charge of bringing down those buildings and monitoring building control, has said they got the notice last year first. They ignored the earlier notice. Now they've gone there again yesterday. Actually, the GM of LAPSCA itself was physically there yesterday to hand them physically and formal letter to say you have 72 hours to vacate this premises. I thought we all grew up with the idea that power line is
You
dangerous
don't
to
build
build.
under high tension. And over time, we still grew up to see people building under high tension.
Concrete building,
Every-
very big structure.
And you wonder if you can afford this kind of building. Definitely, you can afford to buy
better
land.
land
And it
in a
is
better
obvious,
place.
even in the dark. You could see it runs from, I think it runs from somewhere here, Ogba, all the way down Agege,
Yeah.
as in high. And
you need to
see-
go to Okota and go Palace Way and
in
see
fact,
exactly
not
what
even
happened.
residential buildings. Some people even build commercial buildings there.
Yeah.
And I think there's a particular, I think it's 500 meters on both sides of the high tension and all that. And you would notice that most of these buildings in some areas are just more like shanties. Some people don't even build solid structures there. I mean, there's a right of way in some areas and all that. Lagos State don't really need to make so much noise about these things. I noticed Lagos State, they tried to really, it's not really us, but that's what the law says. You don't need to come to the media and start saying all these things. Just do it quietly and move on. That is what LAPSCA is all about. You tell people to vacate a particular place, and you come on TV. Oh, we've gone there to announce to them. We've told them. No, you don't need all.
Did
these
you
things.
see
It's a
the-
spontaneous-
Sorry, you may not blame Lagos State
Yeah.
totally on making it a media thing. You know why? This is not high tension or whatever, the one I want to talk about. There is a house that the landlord had served all the tenants quit
Quick
notice
notice. Yeah.
to say this house is bad, we want to renovate. Now, they took their time, the notice expired, the man gave the 7 days, that went to court, and they are now coming to say give us 6 months, additional 6 months. And I told them, look, what if this house come down tomorrow? You all can see this house that it needs to be
It needs
fixed.
to be fixed.
Now, those people, tomorrow, God forbid, the house comes out, people die. Then what will the people say? Then the landlord will say, we gave them notice, but they refuse
But
to
they
move.
refuse to
Then
move.
people that are not aware will start making noise. So now, Lagos State is saying, we gave them notice a
Last
year
year.
ago.
Yeah.
Right now, until now, people did not even move. They waited. God forbid, within that time, that a notice was given.
And now-
this time, God forbid that something had happened with that high tension and those wires were down. What happens to all those people? Then all the blame come back to Lagos
The
State.
Lagos State government.
God
What
bless.
did you do about
What did you do
enforcement?
about it? God bless you. So these are the challenges. So I may not totally blame Lagos State for coming to make noise about it and know that. Just what I just want to appeal to them for. So far, I have seen the state really struggling with enforcement. I don't know whether, I don't want to use the word we lack, because when Mr. Governor came up on the ban on the Okada in some local government, I went on to his private account. I said, Mr. Governor, there's no need to ban anything. You cannot ban what has not been unbanned. The last time I checked, Mr. Fashola banned this
Yeah.
Okada thing.
Yeah.
And when
just
Mr.
need to
Ambode came,
enforce.
I don't think Mr. Ambode lifted the ban. So why are you banning what has not been unbanned? All you need is enforcement, sir. You don't need to make any noise.
I just do
There has been a
and
ban.
and just do it
Enforce
quietly.
Quietly.
And don't
Enforce.
raise
Look,
tension. Because
there'll be noise in different quarters.
Oh, they are picking Okada now. They are picking Okada now. They are
Don't
picking Okada
forget
now.
already, even the association, whatever they call them, they've
Yeah.
been saying, no, please reverse this thing,
Yeah.
we cannot, and all that.
It's not reversible.
Come,
It's kickstart
there are some
tomorrow.
decisions that will not go well with everybody. But now the question is, are they necessary or good decisions that will affect, that the positive side of the decision will be on the greater number of the people? If it's yes, take those decisions. Look, all decisions will not benefit everyone. Now, there's this four-way test we say in Rotary. First, whatever you do, what you think, you say or do. First, is it the truth? If it's the truth, the question is, will it be beneficial to who that is concerned? If it's going to be beneficial to who is concerned, will it be a goodwill to everybody, goodwill and whatever? Then the fourth one now says, will everyone involved be a beneficiary? So if you look at it, if we have 100 as against millions of people, then why can't we just deal with the numbers? Because people are already saying, so what happens to them? What alternative have they made for them?
Because
These people are going to,
yeah,
because these people are going to become criminals. They will do this and they will. Do you know that we have people from Niger, from Chad, from Cameroon riding Okadas? Because they don't speak Hausa.
And attacking.
They don't speak Hausa because
even their associations can't account for that.
Thank you.
So it is when you said Lagos State has issues with enforcement. I think the solution now is we have these problems in smaller clusters, other problems. Before the monster grows to that level, we start
Nipping it in the bud.
Yeah, we start taking care of these things from the time the monsters are babies. So we don't really wait for this long. Yes, these things have to go, and don't come to the media, because even when you get to the media, announce it, there's so much tension, everybody's waiting, they are prepared. Just do it quietly.
If you don't come
and
to
move on.
media sometimes, you
They
and
will
I,
say you didn't
those
tell
activists,
people.
the human rights, whatever, they are the same set of people,
Yeah.
and they will come and say,
I
no,
agree with you.
did you do this, did you do that, because they are not aware.
Yeah.
So they will make money. So what the government now, what they do now is to say, okay, we have done the right thing, the statutory thing we have done. But for the sake of all these human rights activists, all our whatever,
We'll bring it to the media.
media.
Help us tell them, this is what we intend to do.
With this, seriously, I think we as the people, We have a lot. We are the
We have
problem.
issues.
We are the problem.
We are actually the problem of the government. The government is not our problem.
We are the problem.
I want to listen to the GM of Lepska as she was talking and particularly almost pleading with the people to obey the 72-hour notice. Let's listen and we'll be back.
Of him.
All right, we're back here. Let's move to another conversation, and it's quite interesting, this conversation. We're talking about the Okada ban. It kickstarts tomorrow. About a week ago, the Lagos State Governor banned Okada at 5 local government areas in Lagos, Lagos Mainland, Lagos Island, Ikeja, Papa, and I think there's one more, Surulere. And a lot of people kept saying, are you kidding right now? You know, is this a possibility? Is this something that can fly? All right, how prepared is Lagos to tackle the traffic congestion now that Okada is being banned actively? What are we going to do as a people? Some people say they park their cars and they'd rather take Okada, but with the number of, an Okada passed through my front this morning, crossed into the lane while I was driving to the office, and I remember Mr. Tolani saying, if anybody has been robbed by a bike before, that's action. You know, it crossed into my lane and took the side of the car, front of the car to the side of the car. If anybody has been robbed by an Okada before, that can give you a heart attack.
Yeah.
But people do not see the security risk. People do not see the fear. People do not see the pain. The number of people without disabilities that have become people with disabilities because of Okada. People do not look at all of that. All people are talking about is, hey, with the traffic gridlock, with the traffic congestion in Lagos, how do we cope without Okada?
Well, on this one,
How prepared are we?
I just want to appeal to Nigerians, particularly Lagosians, because we're streamlining to Lagos now. Please, the menace and the havoc, the insecurity and other things these Okada people create far, far, far more than the benefit of you that want to ride that Okada because you want to meet up appointments, you want to get to somewhere very fast, or some of us are lazy. We can't even walk from here to there. We still have to use a bike. Now, sorry, I don't want to go to the medical part of exercise because they said a lot of people are dropping dead. The rates now is really bad. Why? Because some of us, we don't exercise. Do you know that when you walk a distance in a particular day, that is in fact, it says every day 30 minutes and all that, but a lot of us, we don't want to do that. In as much also that I need that Okada. But my appeal to us right now, let us see that there is a danger, and this Okada saga is like us sitting on a powder gun, or a gunpowder, sorry, and now that it can explode at any time. We heard about the incident at Lekki, how they mobbed somebody and killed somebody.
Because of 100 naira.
Because of 100 naira. And we have seen instances on how this Okada, any small thing, the way they gather and
Don't
they do
forget
anything.
the incident at Day Market in Abuja as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And we've seen situations where all the way they even, like you said, even some of them use that to rob in traffic, and some of them also do all sorts with that thing. With the one that happened recently to Pastor Bolaji. Harvesters was Okada guys, 2 of them on the bike that stopped the guy, and they almost, in fact, they shot at him. Thank God that God somehow waved the bullet away. But they shot at him. So all these things, we need to look at some of these people, like I said, from other countries. Only God knows how they got into Nigeria. That is another one with our government and the security agencies that are supposed to checkmate all this thing. Our borders are so porous
that catch guys that is about to cross.
Yes,
they will not catch human beings.
We have people from Niger, we have people from Chad, we have people from even Cameroon.
Whose brand of Hausa is not ours?
Out of every 10, 8 of them are not Nigerians.
Are not Nigerians, and we are claiming they should continue running the show. Look, these people are coming like legions. And by the time they overwhelm us, I pray it will not be too late for us to realize that we can actually do away without these guys. So please, I am appealing to Nigerians. Help the government. Help the security agencies. Let's get rid of, help yourself. Yes, let's get rid of these people. Look at Kano. Kano before was, as in, when you talk about Okada in Kano, it was the place. But look at Kano today. Look at Port Harcourt today. So we can achieve the same thing, and people are not dying. People are living. They are working. Then I will also appeal to the government of Lagos State. Please create more roads. Please let us see how we can manage the traffic, because that is the excuse of our people, to see what we can do to have alternative roads, to manage the transportations and all that, and also help us with all these commercial buses. They are also another menace on its own. But let us concentrate on Okada. So if government can give us more route to ply, manage our traffic, then our people, please be patient. There is no hurry anyway. There is no need to get to anywhere you're going now. When it's because we had embraced the system of Okada. The day we decide to say no more. There was a time in our life Okada was not part of our system.
Exactly.
We were doing our things. If you cannot boss, we work and we do all the. Please, can we just revisit this? This life, because this bomb that is here,
it is already exploding at different areas. The Lekki issue came up, number one, because it's Lekki, number two, because someone
died.
If you ask in different localities, these guys, they are so aggressive. If you hit maybe one of them or they hit you,
or you have an argument with one of them.
2 years ago, was it 2 years ago, or was it last year? A policeman died.
Yes.
A senior officer died.
Yes.
And
that was at Ajawa Estate.
Yes, and it was broad daylight.
Yes, broad daylight at Ajawa
I'm sure
Estate.
the police took care of that quietly on their, because it was one of their own. I'm sure they did not let it slide. And it happened in broad daylight. These people, and most of the time, if you really look into their community very well, they don't live in proper houses. And they sleep on those.
They sleep on the bikes. That's what I wanted to say. They sleep on those bikes. They bathe in gutters.
Yes.
Inside gutters.
And if you check,
they have no place.
If you check different neighborhoods, they've carved a place for themselves. Even at Obanikoro, that up from both sides of
the road.
Ikorodu Road. If you go into
those streets,
you will be surprised everywhere.
And you see, it comes back to the issue of the government saying we ban Okada. Now, if you pick up the Okada, what do you intend to do about picking up the people? Why not do exactly what Ganduje did? Ganduje, Nasir El-Rufai said, go back to your state.
That's it.
That's exactly what they did. No, let's call a spade a spade. If you say...
With the will on the part of the government...
No, because what they did, for example, the issue of the cows overriding the farms in Ondo State, that's exactly what was done as well. Pack them into the vehicle and take them back to where they came from. So if you're going to be riding a bike and you're sleeping on the bike, you don't have a house, there are laws in Lagos that caters to that. park them and take them back to where they
Then
let the government be responsible for the
then some people
transportation.
will come and say that because they can live anywhere in the country.
But they're not living.
But then now the question is, let them even identify themselves, whether they are even Nigerians in the first place.
Yeah.
So take them out, let them identify themselves.
Are
whether
they
are
even
Nigerians.
living in the first place? Is
Lagos,
that what they call
State
living?
has
Thank
got,
you.
Lagos State has got
Is
that.
living in a gutter.
Lagos State has got Lagos State residents. Like if you're living here for
Yes.
90 days or 6 months, have they even tried to register these people? Have they even tried to get fingerprints of these people?
Do they know them? People wait in gutters by the
Do
side
you
of the
see how
street.
truck
live
brings
there.
these people to
If you
Lagos?
stay at Baga,
And they keep bringing them.
If you stay on the express, you would see them. Sometimes they hide these bikes in between goods, and you see that. I mean, just stay at the express here or coming in through to. Going towards Abattoir.
In those days, and what we see people do in those days, we had the shoemakers that used to go around.
Yeah.
We had the, number of things people were doing. In fact, people from Ghana, in those days, they were doing shoemaking and all the other things. People from Ghana, we know that they are from Ghana.
Yeah.
Shoemaking tailors and all.
Then we know where they were from.
Yeah.
But this one, we can't even identify them.
They're aggressive, extremely, very aggressive.
How did we get here?
And then they occupy almost all of the street. You see them early in the morning. You are almost scared of allowing your child to go on the road because they are halfway into the road and they take strategic positions. They're sleeping on the bike, they bait on the bike. I wonder how they defend.
Another evil that we are not, most parents are not really, looking into is that they do drugs as well.
Where?
They do drugs really
Yeah.
well.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you think you're safe, I don't ride bikes, I don't go out, they don't disturb
my.
me. They distribute drugs.
And guess what? I'm sure 70% of those people don't even know how to ride bikes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They just go on the road, and you see them, they want to fall. You see them, they want to. And the annoying thing, the one that baffles me more, are the people, the passengers.
But the passengers
They sit comfortably
Oh,
on top of them.
when in fact, when I use them and you carry me on bike, and I see that move, the first one is to warn you, don't try that, please. I'm not running to anywhere. Take it easy. The second move, I will give you a dirty slap from back, and I will tell you stop. I'll get down from that bike. But you see here, the passengers will be abusing you. They will be abusing you. You the vehicle, whatever.
The driver of the vehicle.
Of the vehicle. They'll be abusing you. The ones that are carrying, so you see somebody waving bikes like that, you can. And once you fall, that one will disappear. It will disappear. If you're how to escape.
It goes down
You are the one that,
honestly.
and you cannot caution them.
You see, the bad part is, how come every time a bike accident happens, it's the passenger
It is
that
the passenger. They know how
ends
to
up-
escape.
Because they are conscious
As
of
a
what
victim.
they know what they
they're
are doing. They know the risk. The passenger is just there. It's a bit of fact that if anything happens,
In fact,
I'll wait the one.
We have different type of passengers. I see all sorts. Sometimes you see a passenger on a bike that the person you are not even sure of. Then the passenger is carrying phone. He's still pressing. A Facebook on a bicycle. On a motorbike, sorry. And I'm like, so what happens?
If anything happens.
If anything happens,
Because you'll be struggling with the phone.
Yeah, you're not alert.
Oh no.
I mean, you're not alert.
When I say we are the
phone?
problem.
How do you hold your phone on a bike when another bike will be driving past you, just snatch your phone?
I see.
You see all sorts, and we really need to talk to ourselves. We really need to reorientate ourselves. We can do without a lot. I think 5 or 6 states in the north have banned them completely.
Yes.
And heavens did not fall.
Yeah.
So if we ban them here, heavens will still not fall. We will.
So now comes back to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. What is the willingness of the government? Yes, he has met with the security agencies. He started with 5 local governments, and people were just saying, we did an opinion poll on radio, actually, on Star FM here, and people just said, why are we doing it in phases? Why not just ban completely?
Blanket ban.
People were saying, why you're saying leave 5 local government areas and you're telling them to go to the other 15? That's what you're saying. Ban completely and let people find another means of livelihood. People who are riding bikes were welders. I'm talking about Yoruba people were riding bikes, were welders. Some of them were shoemakers, some of them were cobblers, some of them were carpenters. Some of them are graduates.
That's why we are saying, some of us are advocating for government on their part to do the necessary things. In those days, those welders, because there was electricity that they were managing, it wasn't as if the electricity wasn't there 24/7, but at least they were relying on something. But today, those basic things, those basic amenities that those boys needs to do some things are not there. So we are appealing to federal government, because state government cannot do those things. We are appealing to the appropriate authorities. Please, before we can say, oh, this, that, even when we're looking at fixing all those things, give us the basic amenities. When there is light, okay, look at those barbers. They are not there in their shop because the one that is there is using generator to do his work, and he's going to spend more money. So please, we are appealing to them. All these basic amenities, if they look at a friend of mine we were discussing yesterday, their own fear in Lekki is that these bike people, now they abandon them in that as is. That these bike people will go to Ibeju, Lekki. That means they will go to Ibeju Lekki community
further in,
and they will become a menace in Ibeju Lekki.
And the road is smaller.
So those people are afraid, and like you said, Tomisi, they will go to other local governments. If you don't, well, I hope that as they are starting, they will extend it to gradually to other local governments, and that they will have the willpower to enforce this.
Another problem, because you mentioned the Ibeju Lekki now, them moving inside. Some people are going to benefit from this. Some stakeholders in those new areas, because they pay taxes every day. I think an average bike guy pays over 1,000 every day. Why are people collecting that money?
All right, we need to round off the conversations this morning. It's been an interesting one with Tolani Ojuri and Olayinka Oladanos. Thanks to both of you for being here this morning. Tomorrow, the Okada ban kicks off. And there's 5 local government areas. Don't forget that Ikeja local government is one of them. And of course, under Ikeja is Ojudu local government. So when they say the local government, they're talking about 5 local governments and 9 LCDAs. So, and the LCDA, other LCDAs underneath those 5 local government areas. So it extends far beyond where you were thinking of. So try to walk from tomorrow. Don't take a bike. Try to keep yourself healthy. My name is Tomisi, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.